All right, welcome to episode 11 of Reality Rundown. I'm your host, Carter Nelson, along with my co-host, Christian Holman. If you're watching on YouTube, if you want to leave a like and subscribe, we would really appreciate it. If you're watching on Twitch and you're new here, drop a follow. Tonight's episode was the HOH that we didn't see from last Thursday. What we didn't see. We saw maybe 45 seconds of it.
Minute and a half. 40%,
so yeah, we get that in the nominations tonight. So it was. I feel like they didn't have much to go with. They kind of just scrambled and put some stuff together, but it was decent.
It was an alright episode. We already saw we saw Kaser win or complete his portion of it in the first minute and a half.
That's what we did see.
It took longer. It took longer of them showing the competition. Like when they were showing the competition, it took 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, and it didn't take him that long. It took him literally 30 seconds.
Yeah. The edit of Kaser took longer.
Yeah.
It was interesting the way they did that.
Yep. So, like I said, this episode starts out with the HOH competition, and it has these, I don't even know how you would call them, just long ramp-looking things that have an incline going up on both sides with 3 holes at the top. And there's 3 balls, and you have to get the 3 balls into the holes. And so there was groups split up by random draw, 6 people in each group, and the first 3 that make the balls in the holes move on to the final round from each group. So there's 3 rounds altogether. And so the first group we had Kaser, Enzo, Nicole, Ian, Davon, and David. And yeah, like he said, Kaser did great. He killed it. His strategy was he took all 3 balls and threw them together, and when he did that, 2 of them went in, and he just had to get 1 more. And it literally took him 30 seconds because we saw it on the live show, but they made it seem like it wasn't. It was longer than what it was. Anything?
Sorry, your screen was frozen. I didn't know you were talking. Yeah, It just showed. Yeah, it was just weird the way that they edited it, make it seem like
that it was longer. Yeah,
but they did at least show that he killed everyone else, and because on the edit they showed everyone else going for a while after they showed it finish.
Yeah, so it showed everybody one by one getting some, but really it came down to Kaser, David, and Enzo. Them 3 were the only 3 that really had any chance of winning. And so Kaser gets it early, so he's already moved on, and it's down to Enzo and David. They both have 2, and I think everybody else has 1, just trying to get their second. And it looks like David's doing decent, but he's running back and forth, and he's doing well. And I think he gets it second, and then he gets it second, and then Enzo gets it second, and then David gets it third. And David acted like he had won the HOH based off that first round. And I was like, you still got another one, man. I know it's exciting, but relax.
It was a big moment for him. He's never advanced in an HOH competition, as they've never had one that does that since he's been playing. So it was a really big deal for him to just say, I'm a beast. Beast mode. Beast mode David coming out.
Yeah, for sure. So it goes to a David DR after this, and he's just like, I really want to win this. I screwed over Tyler and Cody last week, so I just want to show them that even though I did that, I can still win an HOH. That has any correlation whatsoever.
Yeah, what he did last week was show that he can't be trusted with information. It's not that they don't trust that he's going to do anything bad to them. It's more of you just can't tell him things.
Yeah, and it has nothing to do with you winning HOH or being able to win HOH. So the next group we have Kevin, Memphis, Danny, Cody, Christmas, and Bailey. And kind of the same thing. Everybody was getting 1 here and there, but really the only people that were doing good that it looked like were Danny and Cody, and then Kevin kind of came at the end. But Danny gets hers first. Just the same kind of deal. Not near as fast as Kaser, but she did all right. And then Kevin got it second, my bad. But it didn't look like he was going to get it, and then he ended up getting it. And then Cody got third, so they move on to the final round. And before the final round, it shows Christmas over there crying, and it's just what is wrong? Why?
Yeah, she missed her family. She was really missing her family. She
Just save
didn't
it
make
though. Like, don't do it out
Didn't make
there.
the
Like,
cut.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
it was her one chance to see him. She's probably gone next week. In her head, I guess.
I don't know. I don't know about it. So the finals we have Enzo, David, Cody, Danny, Kevin, and Kaser. And early on, like Kaser gets too quick. Like I think it was like him and who was no, not Memphis. Who was it? David. Him and David looked like they were doing really well at first. Especially Kaser. I'm telling you, Kaser like really blew it, if we're being honest. Because he had two super early, literally just needed that one to go, and it looked like it was getting so close. And it was like he rolls it and it's like going over the lip and it goes to commercial. So they made us think that he won. And yeah, I mean it was obvious, but like they wanted us to think that he won.
Yeah, which I mean, had Kaser won, it would have been absolutely electric. It would have just the house would have been on its toes. I don't know what he would have done. Probably, I don't even know who would have gone after, but it would just have been cool. I think he probably would have tried making some alliances in the process. I don't know if he would have, but I feel like he probably would have tried to make himself some alliances in the process.
I think definitely would have. He would have had to.
Some heavy heat, but
yeah, they come back from commercial and his clearly doesn't go in, and Enzo ends up winning the HOH, and it's his first one ever. He didn't win any on his first season, so good for Enzo.
Yeah, he didn't have to win. He got to sit behind the brigade and let them do all the heavy lifting while he did the talking.
And truthfully, like Enzo, I mean, it just like solidifies like he's still in a great spot. Like even him winning this, like he's not gonna get any blood on his hands. He can go after a target that everybody wants out in Kaser, and nobody's gonna care. So like he's in a great spot. I think like going forward, he's probably top 3, if not top 2 contenders to win so far.
Yeah, he's super well locked. He so far seems really competitive in competition. I mean, he's got 3 comp wins and
I think he had one. He had one in this whole season.
Yeah, having 3 comp wins at week 4,
but no one's talking about it.
Well, maybe not yet, but give it a couple weeks and
maybe, especially if one's another. But like right now, no one's like, oh, Enzo's winning too much. Oh, like no one's taught like it's crazy.
Yeah, Enzo's he's like a fine wine. Is it later in life he gets the better he gets at competing.
So right after Enzo's win, we get Kevin in the DR, and he's like, I don't know, maybe with him being HOH, I'm good. Like I feel good with Enzo. We don't have any problems, so maybe this is a good thing. And in the back of your mind, like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know if you feel as good as you think you do.
Yeah, it's really funny. Kaser and Kevin both said that they feel kind of optimistic over the fact that Enzo won. So that just shows that how well Enzo's playing socially, where everyone just kind of feels like,
good. Yeah,
I'm good with Enzo.
Yeah, 100%. So then we get Cody walking into the photo room, I think it is. Yeah, the photo room, and Danny's in there, and he's like, "So who did you get to vote with you?" And she's like, "It wasn't me. Like I didn't do the vote." And he's like, "You literally asked me yesterday if you wanted to throw a hinky vote, 2 hinky votes to pin it on somebody, and you're telling me you didn't do it?" And she's like, I promise you I didn't do it. And she got super defensive over it. And you could tell Cody was like, I don't know about this one.
Yeah, had she not been so defensive, like she just went overboard with her defense. Otherwise, it would have been fine. Even though she had suggested it, she'd been like, I was going to do it, but you didn't want to do it with me. So I was like, yeah, I'm not going to. But she was so defensive, being like, oh, no, it wasn't me. Promise, I swear. You think it was me? How could it be me? Yeah. It's just like, come on.
So then it shows Cody. It shows Cody in the DR, and he's like, I like Danny. I want to work with Danny. But the longer these things go, and like she keeps doing this stuff, and she's just like being super defensive, it makes me hard for me to trust her. Like, especially like you went up to him yesterday and said something about it, and then it happened. So like clearly you went to someone else and got filmed to do it. You just don't want to own up to it. Which I don't know why she doesn't just own up to it, because they're not gonna care.
Yeah, her side wouldn't really care. But the reason that she doesn't want to own up to it is because she wants them to actually think it was Bailey and Davon, not just fake Bailey and Davon.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. That would make sense, but again, it's not worth the alternative of them not believing Danny and then knowing she's lying to him, and then it's just way easier to just own up to it to the people you trust. I don't know. It was just weird to me. But Danny's in the DR, and she's like, it was more of a pity vote for Janelle And it wouldn't hurt to pin it on someone like Bailey and Davon. It definitely wasn't a pity vote.
Well, the funny thing is that she didn't have a second person to vote.
Yeah.
So whenever
yeah.
when she's casting that vote, it's really not going after Bailey and Davon. It was actually just for Bailey, I think.
Maybe.
Had Enzo not done it,
it would have been Bailey.
It actually would have been looked really bad on Bailey.
Yeah. I agree with that. I didn't think about that, but yeah, I forgot that because Enzo. I think Enzo's just gonna do it every week. If he's able to vote, I think he's just gonna vote the opposite way of everybody and just sit back and like, if it gets traction, it gets traction. If not, it doesn't. Because like last week he did it and no one said a word about it. This week people are kind of talking, but it's not really getting too much traction. So, but this one could definitely end up being something, but I don't think it has yet.
Yeah, there's not really much to it at the moment. It doesn't appear. Well, everyone's freaking out though.
Yeah, true.
Like low key freaking out.
Danny asked Christmas and Cody who they're with, and like, I don't really know what was his talk about.
Danny.
Danny, Christmas, and Cody. They're talking about the votes. This is more of the vote talk.
And then Davon walks in.
And then Davon walks in, and they're all just like, I don't know, like it wasn't me, on my kid, like it was not me.
Kevin comes in.
I think Memphis came in first, didn't he? And Memphis
wasn't in the room at all.
Oh, then it was Kevin. Okay.
Yeah, it was Kevin.
Yeah,
and then
Kevin walks in. He's like, I swear it wasn't me. And so they're like, Cody, was it you? And Cody's like, yeah, it was me. And I got Kevin to do it with me. And you can see Kevin was like instantly like, oh no, like I swear it was not me. It was not me.
He was on his back foot running away.
It's like, dude, Cody was joking. Like, you're good. Don't relax. And then in walks David. And he looks the most suspicious. Like, he comes in, they're on the opposite side of the room. He comes in, sits on the complete opposite end of them, and just sits there and looks at them. And they're like, who'd you vote for? And he's like, what? What? And,
what vote? I didn't vote.
Yeah,
I'm dead. I didn't vote.
So who did you cast your vote for?
What's a vote? I don't know what a vote is.
I don't. Janelle? And they're like, okay, like, that's all he needed. And then they're just like looking at him like, what is wrong with you? And then like they're laughing, and Kevin's like, all right, I gotta go. This is really weird. Walks out because he's just literally sitting there acting so like no one's coming after you. And then so it shows him in the DR, and he's like, these people, they're just pinning me in a corner. They're grouping up on me, and they're just trying to manipulate me. No, everybody in there is talking about the vote, and you walk in, so they're just asking you if it was you. Bizarre.
Yeah, he is one of the worst Big Brother players I've ever seen. Like, especially with it being All-Stars, it just really shines as to how bad he really is at the game. Because he's playing with people that are seen as greats.
Yeah.
And he's the exact opposite.
Yeah. And it's just
bad Big Brother.
It's just crazy because like last year he didn't even really play. He was there night one, he gets evicted, but he's in the house still. But like he knew everything that was going on. He had everybody pegged, and like you're like, oh, like this guy kind of knows what he's doing, like he knows what he's talking about. He's very like he knows what's up. And then he comes back, and you kind of think like maybe he can like make some noise and do some stuff, but like he's like it's the complete opposite of last year. Even though he didn't even play last year, like he did better last year, not even playing.
He's made noise. He just hasn't done anything.
He's just done really bad with everything he's done. It's bizarre.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Davon. So yeah, we get Davon and Kaser in the bathroom, and this is more of, and like really when these talks come up, it's basically them, and they're just talking about religion and how like every religion is just like everybody's in a different car, like going to the same destination, and then that goes into like the social injustices and just like being black in like this world, and how coming into this game and just being like the only black person and just having to represent everybody that's like that's like Davon, and she has to represent the whole black community, just her and Bailey and David, but she's really just talking about how like the last 3 times it's basically just been her. And but it's just nice to hear these things as opposed to again last year where it was just like the complete opposite.
Yeah, there's a lot of open dialogue this year. It's they're talking everything, especially with what's going on. It's just really hot topic to show. So it's good to see.
And that's how just Kaser is. Kaser's just a good guy.
Yeah, he's always on these talking about things like this.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to hear, especially the whole like that he has to. I didn't know that Muslims had to get their food prayed over in a different way. So it's interesting to learn.
Yeah. So from here we go to the have-nots being picked. So Enzo comes out. He's like, "There's only 3 this week because Janelle left and she's not here to pick anybody." Which I thought they would just like someone would just volunteer, like someone would get picked by like the HOH. But I guess Enzo had to pick. I don't know. I just thought like Enzo would pick 2 or something. Who knows? But there's only 3 this week, and so Enzo being one last week, he picks first. And he picks Tyler. And well, he asked for a volunteer, and Tyler volunteers. But when Tyler volunteers, Ian also volunteers. Ian's like, "I'll do it." And they're like, "No, Ian, like you've done it. Like I haven't done it yet. I got it." So Tyler goes, which Ian would do it every week if you'd let him.
Ian did it every single week.
Yeah, in 14 he did.
He literally did it every single week.
He asked for punishments. He did slop. Yeah, he loved it. He was just like, it's part of it. Which I'm shocked he's kind of being that way this year with being older and him just being like more not like
he
obsessed
sees
with
how
Big
the
Brother.
game works. He sees how the game works, and it's never a bad thing to be the person and like who's being punished by the man. You know, it's oh well, that looks good.
Yeah. Then we have Cody picking, and he's like, "Sorry, Davon, but I got to pick you again." She hasn't been on it, so it's just part of it. And then Bailey picks Danny again, hasn't been on it yet. So it's kind of very easy to pick this week because I think it was down to like those 3 are the only 3 that have not been a have not yet, unless you can think of anybody that has.
I mean, I couldn't tell you. I don't pay attention to have nots.
I'm pretty sure that's just.
I would assume everybody has it now.
Yeah. Then we get the segment of Danny and Nicole being like super good friends in the house. And they're like, we're super close outside the house. We trust each other in here. Like, we're going to the end with each other. Which, it's weird because they haven't shown much of that at all.
No, well, neither one of them have really been in a position of power. And it's not really anything to really talk about. So I'm guessing that we may either see something on it next episode, or they're just assuming that they're going to be together for a while and they're just showing it because it seems like a pretty solid thing. And they're big names in the house. They're some of the bigger names in the house.
Yeah.
So it's just there hasn't really been a chance to show it based off what's been going on in the house.
True. But like they talk in the DR, they're like, we got each other's backs. Like I know that she's not going against me. If I see her talking to other people, she's not going against me. She's just getting information and I don't have to worry about it.
Nicole didn't seem as
100%.
Like Danny did. Danny was like, "Yeah, we're all into the final 2," and then Nicole was like, "Until we have to get rid of each other," which is so Nicole. Yeah. She's a little snake.
Well, especially since it's a girl, she targets girls like crazy. It doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I agree. We also get, I think I skipped this, but Cody and Enzo upstairs on the big bed thing in the hallway, and Cody's talking to him about the votes again, about the hinky votes, and he's like, "Who do you think it was?" And he's like, "Well, I need," like he tells Enzo, he's like, "I gotta tell you something. Like yesterday, Danny came up to me and was wanting to throw 2 just to like shake up the house and pin it on somebody," and he's like, "Why would she do that? Like, what's the point? Why?" And he's like, "I don't know, but it seems really fishy, and it's looking like it was definitely her and somebody." And Enzo's sitting there, knowing he was one of the votes, just like, "I don't know, man." But I don't know why Enzo just doesn't tell him. Like, it's very clear that he trusts Cody with everything, and he's like, "This is my guy." But
it's still better to keep information to yourself that you don't have to give away. Like, there's no benefit of Enzo telling Cody that.
I guess, yeah. It's just, I would be scared if something happened and he found out and he's like, "Oh, like you didn't tell me that. Like, why wouldn't you just tell me that? It would just cause trust issues." But I guess like it's never going to get out because who's going to think Enzo did that?
Yeah, which, I mean, maybe Enzo says something in the future, which is suspicious. Probably not. I don't think he's going to talk about things like that. While Danny already has, therefore there's already that.
And I feel like if Enzo ever like brings it up, he could just play it off as a joke. He's like, "Dude, I just did it all as a joke. I knew the house was going that way. I did it all this time, and I've done it for the past 4 weeks. So like, here we are." So maybe that's it. I don't know. So then we get Enzo and Cody talking in the HOH room about the nominations, and he's like, Kaser Kaser's got to go up. He doesn't talk game with me. We've been in here for 4 weeks. I've got nothing out of him. So it's definitely Kaser, but there's got to be a pawn, and I don't know who the pawn's going to be. And I think Cody throws out David, and he's just like, I'm just going to do what I want to do, but it's definitely going to be a pawn. And I don't know if he throws out Kevin's name or not. Maybe he does here.
I think so.
And I think that's when Cody's like, well, maybe we could throw David up there and just get away with that. And you could tell that Enzo was not having it. Which I don't know why. Like, I don't think Enzo and David are particularly, like, super close or anything. So, I don't know.
Well, he may see it as David's more likely to win a competition than Kevin.
Maybe. Yeah.
Like, as we saw in the HOH comp, David was relatively close. I mean, he at least won the first heat, which Kevin won the first heat too. But
just keep everything the same, and then he can. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So Kaser comes up to the HOH room, and he's giving his pitch, and he's just like, "Listen, we get along. We've always gotten along in here. Really like you. I would never go against you. Like, I'm here for you. I want to help you in this game. I just hope I'm here next week and the next week, like going on, so I can show that I want to help you." And you can tell, like, Enzo's just like, yeah, man, like, I'm going to talk to everybody. I'm going to see who throws you under the bus. Like, I just want to talk to everybody and see where everybody's at. And he doesn't really give him a clear, like, no, I got you. Like, you're safe with me. Like, I like you. It was none of that. So it was kind of clear that Kaser was going up. But as soon as this conversation ended, Kaser's like, I'm, like, cautiously optimistic about that. And I don't see where he got any of that from. Maybe you do.
Well, Enzo's really good at talking to people. Like, he's not aggressive necessarily. So, but and the way he is, like, whenever the way he was talking to him, it wasn't like he was hiding something. Kind of like when Cody was talking to people that first week. Everyone wants to go up to him. He's like, I'm just going to see what happens to play it out. You could tell the way he was talking. It was like super like, I don't want to give you anything. Yeah. But Enzo still talks to people where it's like, yeah, we're friends. He talks to like they're friends opposed to competitors.
Yeah, I agree with that. So yeah, Kaser feels good after that talk, and he's like, maybe things will change. Maybe I'm good. I don't know. But that's basically all the game talk we got out of this episode. They didn't really show, and like Enzo did have everybody up, like come up one by one and talk to him, but they didn't show any of that.
We saw Christmas and Enzo talking, kind of solidifying a little something there.
Yeah. We get that.
I think that's actually a pretty good little alliance there.
Well, so Enzo's looking at her as like his fallback. Like he's got his core alliance, and then if something happens, he's always got Christmas. But the problem is that Christmas is already in a final two with Tyler and super close to Tyler. So like, yeah, it's gonna work for a time being, but like if it's between Enzo and Tyler, Christmas is gonna pick Tyler. So it just like, but Enzo in his mind thinks, oh, I've got Christmas 100%. Like no one picked up Christmas, but I got Christmas.
Yeah, which nothing's really solid, especially at this point in the game. But yeah, but then again, it's also just they're very good to work with. They want to work with each other. It's good.
Yeah.
At least while alliance.
Yeah, true.
Especially they were showing like them being very willing to just tell each other information. Like Christmas is just spouting off who she thinks is what, and Enzo's commenting on it. So they're pretty close, it would appear.
Yeah, I agree with that. Then we get the big segment about the star babies with Christmas. I know you like this, so if you want to talk about this, you can go right ahead. There's really not much. It's more babies in the middle of the night. I don't know.
I mean, it was a pretty pointless segment. They're just kind of showing how it ended.
I'm telling you.
Which I think the funniest part to me was the babies talking. Like, Mama, I'm hungry.
I wonder if they played those noises like out loud, like to them, or if it was just in the edit.
I think those noises, like the I'm hungry, feed me, show me off to everybody, I guarantee those were out there for everyone to hear. And everyone, like, that was just so funny. Especially the one, show everyone how great I am or something like that. She has to walk around to every single person saying,
like,
look at my baby.
Yeah,
look at my baby.
So, yeah, her punishment ended. I think she ended, it showed 12, but I think she ended with 13 total, which is kind of crazy. She had to lug those around all week, but not too bad. It could be worse. Could be Ian have to sleep outside in a doghouse for a night. And, and have to get on a leash to go anywhere.
Or Dan, and you get stuck in a disco room, which ended up working great for him, but
still it would suck. Yeah, it would still suck.
The one they did last year I really liked, where the alien was just screaming. That one was really funny too.
Yeah. Also, I want to throw out that with that talk with Christmas that Enzo was having, he was drinking a White Claw. Like,
Yeah, I noticed
classic. I wouldn't expect Enzo as a White Claw guy, but he seemed to be loving it.
I think he was just glad to have something to take the edge off.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, like I said, that's basically all the game talk we got. We didn't really get much because I don't think there was really much to really throw into this episode. So they're kind of just grabbing whatever they could and throwing it together. But we get to the nominations, and he turns the first. And also, before we talk about this, did you notice how, like, normally it's kind of like a fluid, like, it's very, doesn't seem like it's scripted, but it is scripted. But, like, with Enzo, it looked like he was staring at something, just reading it off.
With what?
With the, like, his nomination speech. Like, when he comes out and he's like, this is the nomination ceremony. It's my duty as HOH. It looked like he was, like, looking at a screen or something, like, reading it. But, like, normally everybody's pretty, like, on point about it and, like, very natural. But it looked like he was just standing there looking, like, straight at the wall and, like, nobody.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they did have that up, because they always have to say the original thing. As the HOH, I have to nominate 2 people. So there's that part. And I doubt he was actually reading his script as to why he's nominating everybody, but
I just thought it was funny that he looked at nobody at the table. He was looking, like, straight at the wall. So maybe he was just nervous. I don't know, but
yeah, he probably was just trying to avoid eye contact.
So he turns the first key, and it's Kaser, and everybody knew that was coming. Turns the second key, and it's Kevin. And I don't think Kevin had any idea he was getting nominated.
Kevin's oh crap face is the funniest thing in the world to me. It is the most pitiful face in the world.
That's how he is 24/7. He is always, like, looking like he's like, I don't get it. I don't understand. It's like most of the time there's nothing going on, but he looks like he's getting, like, beat.
Yeah, the man looks like he just watched his whole family die in a fire.
Yeah.
And he could have saved them, but he chose not to. That's the look he gives all the time, and it's hilarious.
But yeah, I don't think Kevin saw it coming. He looked like he was about to cry. But he's very clearly the pawn, and I think he knows that, but in a sense he doesn't know that. Like, he's still very concerned that, like, he's gonna go home, and it's like, dude, like, everybody in the house wants Kaser out of here. You're literally just up there just to fill a spot.
Yeah, which pawns go home, but you need to calm down, dude.
Don't make yourself go home. Don't make yourself a bigger target than Kaser this week. Literally just sit back, relax, and let Kaser go out and go to next week.
Or I'd like to see Kaser in the house for a while. So I won't hurt my feelings at all.
Oh, it won't me either, but I just don't think it's realistic.
And I will laugh my head off watching him freak out so bad that everyone's like, we gotta get ready, Kevin. He is going crazy.
So, yeah, like I said, there wasn't much this episode. It was basically cut and dry. HOH comp nominations, really just filler in between. Unless you got anything else you saw that you wanted to mention, I don't know.
No, you're talking about the Enzo not want to look at people. Maybe he's nervous. I think he just doesn't like eye contact because
he always has sunglasses. Yeah.
He doesn't like even through the sunglasses, he's not looking at people in the eyes. I mean, he was up in the HOH room. He was talking to everybody wearing sunglasses, looking away from them. So it just, if you wear sunglasses inside, I think maybe it's just something showing you don't like eye contact. As I look down while talking,
as you're like all the way out of the screen.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I got. Wednesday should be interesting. Hopefully, Kaser can pull it out. I mean, that's really the only chance he has of staying is winning the veto. Pulling for him. Hope it happens. Because I'd like to see, which I don't know who he put up. Maybe Ian, but I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
Guess we will. Anything
else?
My heart and mind is clear.
All right. Well, thanks for listening this week. We will be back on Wednesday night right after the episode, 9:15, 9:30. If you're watching on YouTube, like I said, please subscribe. Please leave a like. If you're watching on Twitch or you want to watch us on Twitch, watch them live after the episode. We go live at twitch.tv/realityrundown. Drop a follow there. Get notified when we go live. And with that, we will see you Wednesday.
Peace.